We back, man. So yeah, man, it's the babes. Ricky Ross, man. He finally got confronted about stealing Freeway Ricky Ross' whole identity. Stole that man whole identity, man. And said he was hustling, got big, that man got out of jail. He didn't get that man a dime and kept using the man name. It's crazy, man. Let's get right into it.
This is not Rick Ross, this is William Roberts. On your screen right now is the actual Rick Ross, but this story gets messy.
How the fuck did you lose?
The judge got to make a technical decision.
Is this the biggest coincidence of all time, or is the rapper that calls himself Rick Ross lying again?
Trick Daddy recently accused you of working as a prison guard at one point, Rick. Is there any truth to that?
No, that's not true. But that's disappointing to hear that he said that. He said that.
Were you a correctional officer at one point?
I was, yeah.
They had 15 lawyers.
Oh,
you know how much money they say they spent on the lawsuit?
How much?
$1.5 million.
Wow.
You know how much they offered me?
Man, I remember when it first came out that Rick Ross was a police officer. He tried to hide it too many times. No, that wasn't me. No, that wasn't me. But eventually, he just had to go ahead and say it was him. And 10, 50 cent, everybody put it out. He just had to admit it was him.
Me?
How much?
0.
Also in today's video, we're going to get into Rick Ross for the first time actually being confronted about the name, which was a very funny watch. The rapper Rick Ross grew up in an impoverished neighborhood. He witnessed drug dealing, cartel-related violence, and flashy lifestyles of dealers, which heavily influenced his music and persona. His family played vinyl records at his home and R&B, sparking musical interest. He listened to Tupac, Biggie, and many other rappers as a teen, and reportedly dreamed of drug dealing, but channeled ambition elsewhere. He attended Miami Carroll City Senior High School and played football as an offensive lineman and showed athletic talent. And
The boss was a football player? Okay. I ain't know the boss was out here running dudes over. Crazy.
discipline. In the early 1980s, Freeway Ricky Ross built a massive cocaine trafficking empire in Los Angeles and beyond. Earning the Freeway nickname and properties near the Harbor Freeway, he claims massive daily sales and becomes a notorious figure during the crack epidemic.
On Google, it says you moved $900 million worth in the 80s. Is that accurate, or is it higher or less?
That's probably higher than what they said. My last 2 years being in the dope game, I was making at least $1 million every day.
This is before inflation.
Well, all that was a profit though. I only made like, off of every million I make like 200,000. Sometimes a little more. So like, you know, if I did a day and I made like $3 million came into the house, I would make like $600,000.
What's actually wild is Freeway Rick Ross at one point was going to be a tennis player. A friend introduced him to cocaine and Rick moved his focus from the tennis court to selling drugs, making an initial investment of $125 and building a criminal business that made millions of dollars in profit. But you need to understand the times he went jail to understand this full story. We're going to get into the first one and then we'll get into the other arrest that actually set him down for a lot longer. Freeway Ricky Ross first went to jail back in the late 1980s for his involvement in a large-scale conspiracy to traffic and distribute cocaine across the United States. Following several arrests, Ross eventually testified against corrupt police officers involved in his operation. In exchange for cooperation, his federal sentence was reduced to 51 months.
They planted 2 kilos on me.
In the car or in the house where they arrested you?
No, they didn't arrest me. They never arrested me.
So how do they plant you with drugs when you're not even on your person?
Yeah, what they say happened is when I jumped out the car, I dropped. My guys, they say because when I jumped out the car, Cornell said he put the car in park, stopped the car and put it in park because I left the car running. It was rolling when I jumped out. I think they're gonna kill me, so I'm running for my life.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm trying to get away. I'm running for my life. So Cornell put the car in park. He said once they cuffed him up and everything, they put the kilos right by the door of the car where the door was open. They took pictures of it and said I dropped the bag as I dropped out. The judge, he kind of roasted him too because the judge was like, why would the head guy jump out with the dope? He got 2 of his underlings in there.
Right.
And then they said when they followed me out the shop, they said I had a gun too. So when we walked out with like 30 guys, the judge scolded him about this. And he said, so you telling me that Mr. Ross walked out with 30 guys and he was the one carrying a gun?
Right.
And this is the same guy that you guys been in here telling me all these, how smart he is and how brilliant he is and that you guys can't catch him.
Yeah.
He said, keep telling your story.
Wow.
So the judge is already...
Doesn't believe these cops.
He doesn't believe them. He's already questioning their credibility already.
Wow.
So when they took me back to the county jail, the cops come to the county jail.
Are you in LA downtown?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they took me back into a little room and they interviewed me. And that's what killed their case. So they recorded this conversation too.
Shortly after his initial release, Ross was desperate for cash and was lured into the final drug deal by his former partner, who had become a paid DEA informant, and Ross was set up in San Diego in a sting operation and arrested in 1995 with 100 kg of cocaine. He got a life sentence because of his new bust and prior drug convictions. Ross was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 1996.
And I heyday.
So my whole thing is, if you was making all that money and you knew the police was on you like that, why would you then let somebody convince you to go back to doing the same thing all over again? You was supposed to have 600,000 a day? Bro, bro, if they'd have told me one time they thought I was selling candy bars, got that nigga, I would have never got into them police get. They'd have never had to look for me again. I'm out the game. Hey, what my man A say it paid in full? I'm out the game. A body different, a movie different. Man, the police could have told me, hey, man, we heard you been selling candy bars. I'd have went back to the block and told everybody, listen, man, it's over with. I'm out the game. My body different. I'm moving different. It's over with. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. It's over. No more bricks. None of that. I'm gone.
As much as maybe $1 million a day, $2 million a day sometimes, maybe more, a few days. This wasn't every day though, right. It was like, we had days that...
That's how much you were taking in?
Right, in one day.
Yeah. Ross says he complained to his supplier, Danilo Blandan, that he had difficulty counting all the money.
So eventually he bought us a money machine, and he brought it over to us, and it eased the pain, a lot. But eventually, it even got too much for one money machine. We wound up getting 3 money machines to count it, because one money machine would just be running, and then we'd have money stacked. And we had people that all they would do all day was count money. Eventually,
full-time money counters.
Yeah.
But he successfully appealed his life sentence using the 3 strikes law and reducing it to 20 years, and he ultimately walked free in 2009.
And I got a life sentence from that case. I found a law that said there's a thing that's called continuous criminal spree. Right. So mine was a continuous criminal spree where I'd never been brought to my senses.
You never had the time to rehabilitate.
Correct. So they only counted as one conviction, and for one conviction, the most they could give me was 20 years.
When you found out that you could do that, how did you feel?
I felt vindicated. They had broke my willpower. For 6 months, they kept dangling, 100 kilos of cocaine in my face every day.
What do you mean dangling 100 keys in your face?
Well, my informant called me and said he had 700 kilos and that I could get 100 of them.
Did you considered it?
No, I went to get them.
So December 1995, while he was going through the prison issues, Ross begins working as a correctional officer at a South Florida reception center, a Florida Department of Corrections facility.
Now that's the rapper Rick Ross, the boss. You know what I'm saying? Mr. William Roberts.
He was in his early 20s. Between 95 and 97, he works there for approximately 18 months. Some slight variations on this time frame. Reports indicate he received a perfect attendance award and took the job seriously, sometimes even arriving early.
How do you feel about Bossa giving you the name Officer Ricky? I just want to hear it from you.
Baby, I'm worth too much money to even be, sidetracked on this carpet. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not trying to sidetrack you, though. I'm not trying to sidetrack you at all.
I'm just letting you know that, just so you'll know. And you can let them know whatever, it's all love.
Okay.
Were you a correctional officer at one point?
I was, yeah.
So going all the way back. When was that? How long ago?
Maybe when I was 20.
20 years old?
Yeah.
What kind of people were in there?
I didn't really get to make it to the prison. Because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long.
Right.
I may have lasted 4 months.
What made you want to do that?
One of my big homies had just got in trouble, and a lot of things were going on, and he just suggested it. They was trying to tell, they wanted me to do right, man. They said they seen greatness in me. Yeah. They wanted me to be great, man. And they actually had 2 choices for me, a fireman and corrections officer.
Imagine Rick Ross, you're in a fire and Rick Ross comes and saves you.
June 1997, Ross resigns from the position.
Rick Ross, the fireman. Boy, Rick, I'd have passed out on the floor if I knew Rick Ross was a fireman. What you doing being a fireman, nigga? But I ain't gonna lie though. Ross still got good music, man. It is what it is. I don't care what job he had before, man. The nigga got hits.
Pursuing music full time. In 2008, The Smoking Gun published a document including the social security number match and photo in uniform, exposes his past. Ross initially denies it but later admits to an 18-month stint. The revelation obviously sparked backlash within the rap circle. Rick Ross was obviously deeply insecure about his past because at first he just completely denied it. Only till an article actually proved it was solid evidence did he admit it and own up. He thought he was going to get away with this lie.
Trick Daddy recently accused you of working as a prison guard at one point, Rick. Is there any truth to that?
No, that's not true. But that's disappointing to hear that he said that. He said that?
That's what the question said, yeah.
That's crazy.
Not a correctional officer.
No, I don't believe it.
Ross, in his lifetime, a corrections officer.
Rick Ross done did it all to get money.
Is that picture Rick Ross?
Yeah, that picture was Rick Ross.
You get into a space, because I believe you. When every day I'm hustling, I'm thinking that's who he is. Then you look in the back and go, wait, he's a cop. You serious? And anything else that comes out is go, okay, I can't even take this.
And Freeway Ricky Ross would obviously cite the irony.
I thought it was interesting also you address all the controversies in it, like when people trying to tear you down about correctional officer controversy, and you said in some ways you felt like you didn't handle that right at the time. Like, can you talk about that?
Rick Ross has always been good at making money, but something he's always been better at is dodging questions. You're going to see that throughout this video, but towards the end, he will address things a little bit more. But this guy has always been a great question dodger and saying a whole load of nothing when he's asked something very direct.
Because, me, where I'm from, the way we move and always been certified, highly respected. Everybody that know me where I'm from, they know it's the boss. When I say boss, they know I meant that. They know it come with that. They know I accept whatever come with that. And dealing with the internet and different places and different things was different. And I understood a lot of people didn't understand the big picture of how we was moving, and my homies that was going to federal prison and the indictments that was coming down and the things you have to do. It was just a lot of different things that I understand. But I felt I was going to paint the picture for people to really know how we get down, how we hustle, the goals that we make. And
so through the mid-2000s when he was locked up, William Roberts II adopts the stage name Rick Ross as a rapper, inspired by the drug kingpin's persona. The rapper has downplayed and denied direct inspiration, and he rises as a rapper, signing with Slip and Slide, Def Jam, and releasing his debut single Hustlin' back in 2006. And Rick Ross' music was all about drug dealing and the hustling lifestyle. That hustling song revolves around the drug hustle, every day I'm hustling, and lyrics mention buying and selling the whole thing, and associates still dealing cocaine. Rich Off Cocaine's another song directly celebrates rising from drugs to his wealth. Lines about chickens, cocaine slang, and watches funded by dope. You got Drug Dealer's Dream, an entire track fantasizing about the highs and lows of the drug game, mansions, cash, and also violence and death. Coke like the 80s, the crack era, and heavy cocaine references. Neighborhood Drug Dealer, a straightforward trap dealer anthem, and other references with songs like Blowing Money Fast, Cocaine Running in My Veins, Rich as Gangster, Cocaine Worth More Than Gold. This guy has had a massive persona around that hustle lifestyle. So the rapper Rick Ross blows up with albums like Port of Miami and Thriller, and Freeway Ricky Ross is released from prison in September 2009 after his sentence was reduced, like we spoke about, and he'd been serving his time through the mid-1990s into the 2000s. Freeway Rick Ross discovers when he comes out the rapper, reportedly via prison and media who's becoming aware, is using his name and sues him along with the labels like Warner Music for copyright and trademark infringement on publicity rights, seeking $10 million in damages, and the suit claims the rapper stole and profited from his name and image without permission. An initial federal dismissal leads to a state refiling.
When the streets had that kind of love for you, the rappers find out. They're some of the first people to find out about that, and he took it and he capitalized on it.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, though. You being a former drug dealer, trying to sue a former correctional officer with perfect attendance, you should have known you was gonna lose anyway. Yeah. Like, them is friends. He friends with them. Like, you think that man had perfect attendance? What made you think you was gonna beat him in a court case? Never.
Based on that alone, as far as him taking the name, at the time of I came, and again I don't know the dates and when he came out and things of that nature. What do you have to stand on that legally?
2005, he came out.
Okay.
He told me himself.
Oh man. So that was a conversation afterwards that you had with him about
when I was in prison.
Oh man.
See, I found out about him when he first came out in XL magazine, because I had a book club inside the prison. So I had about 15 to 20 guys that studied with me in prison. We all studied, we read books together, we planned on doing business together when we got out. So one of the guys came over with XL magazine, he showed it to me.
Ricky Ross Freeway, the original, was on to the rapper the second he come out. Many people said he just wanted to secure a payday, but he was going to put the pressure on that would lead into a legal battle.
You need to get with yourself, figure out how to man up and right the wrongs that you've done. First of all, you got to know who you messing with at all times. Once you mess with the wrong person and you make a mistake, the first thing you should do is go and apologize. And when you owe, pay your bills. Well, to have somebody represent you, you would hope that they would be a true representation of what you are and where you from. But this guy here is so untouched with what's going on in reality that I really think he's going to be a disrespect to the name altogether.
He did take your whole everything, but I don't really think he cared about all that once the money started coming in. Once the money started coming in, it didn't even matter to him that he took your name.
Well, I'm from the old school and I didn't change in time. It's one of the reasons I wound up going to jail doing 20 years. So you got to be on top of the game right now, which I am. People going to be seeing all the new things that I'm finna do on the internet. I got a bunch of new internet property coming out. It's going to be crazy.
So the lawsuit proceeds with various dismissals and appeals, and the court knows that Freeway Ricky Ross had known about the rapper since at least 2006, but sued later. So the rapper Rick Ross released Teflon Don during a legal battle, and in 2013, the court rules in favor of the rapper. The state appeal court upholds it in December 2013 on First Amendment grounds, protecting the rapper's artistic persona and use of the name.
You are, everybody knows who you are, takes your name. I mean, it's like, it doesn't even make sense that it's like, didn't you have a case? You had like a legal case about it.
I lost the case.
How the fuck did you lose?
They say I should have filed a lawsuit. The judge got to make a technical decision. She had to make a decision when did the public first become known of him using my name. So what she did is she picked a little radio station outside of Miami that played his record for the first time. So that was the date that the public first became known that he was using the name.
So there was a statute of limitations of when you were supposed to address it?
Yes.
How much time?
2 years.
What?
Yeah, you get 2 years. So if we went by her time frame, I should have filed my lawsuit 5 days before I got out of jail.
Oh my God.
I was 5 days late.
That's so crazy.
But I think she would have found another reason to come up with a date.
Well, the record company probably would have helped, right? I mean, think about how much money they're making off of him.
Oh yeah, they would have owed me. They had 15 lawyers.
Oh my.
You know how much money they say they spent on the lawsuit?
How much?
$1.5 million.
Wow.
You know how much they offered me?
How much?
0.
Although he had a right to sue and he had to try his luck here, I do think he was a little bit ambitious. I mean, he was suing for $10 million, not only
15 lawyers? Boss. So I say 15 lawyers, babes.
$10 million, 50% of Rick Ross, the rapper's royalties as well. He wanted a very juicy deal out of this.
He says William Roberts has made millions exploiting him. That in reality, Roberts is a college dropout and former prison guard who stole Ross's name and criminal past to launch a gangster rap career.
I did 20 years in prison, and bukus of money has went into making this name to what it is today. So I feel that it was mine, I own it, and I want it back.
He says he feels cheated, and he's asking for $10 million in damages and half of the rapper's royalties.
So the legal battle actually ends with rapper Rick Ross keeping the name, and tensions simmer publicly, but Freeway Ricky Ross has spoken in interviews claiming he tried to resolve it amicably at first, while the rappers pushed back strongly, sometimes dismissing the original Rick Ross legacy or calling out lawsuit attempts.
There was about a period of my life that I kept bringing people on because I wanted to find out who killed Tupac. So I brought on Freeway Rick Ross. I don't know what it was, probably 10 years ago. I did podcasts 2 times with him. And he came on and we spoke. And your name came up. Because in the lawsuit, he tried to sue you twice. I've never seen somebody try to sue somebody twice. That at the end, is it true that at the end of the lawsuit, he had to pay for your legal fees?
He wasted a lot of people's time. I hope he's coping with the crack addiction that he been dealing with this whole time, and I hope your listeners, I hope you didn't disappoint your listeners listening to that shit. I just hope, man, you gotta maintain a certain level of quality, and you've allowed it to dip.
Ricky Ross Freeway has been on various podcasts, and obviously he has a massive legacy in the drug game.
Ross on that man's show for a reason. Tell him the quality of your show dipping around here. You listen to dudes that's on crack. It don't even matter what happened in the case of what he had to do. He out there on the crack, and you asking me about him, and your show dipping. It's the boss. Get it together. Crazy.
He's got an interesting story, but at this point, he actually gets asked for the first time directly about stealing the name, and Rick Ross pretty much just loses his shit.
Did he ever show you a home?
He said he owned.
Did he show you his car collection?
No.
Did he show you his watch collection? What the $3 million a day, where was it going to? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This PBD, your listeners deserve better. This is Ricky Rose.
Did he at all inspire the name, though? That's the only question.
I thought I've answered that 3 times.
I don't think you did. I think you went to crack, and I know he had the crack issue.
Why would a crackhead?
Introduced it to a lot of young kids, and it was a bad thing.
Why would a crackhead inspire the boss Rick Ross to want to be the informant? That's not. No, that's why the lawsuit failed.
So the two of you guys have never spoken one-on-one.
Brother, you lowering the standards of the interview now. We can't focus on crack.
If I ran a poll.
We can't focus on crack. I have a car show coming out that's so huge. My dentist, shout out to Dr. Mario Montoya. There's people out here that Freeway Rick Ross, he could have used a teeth cleaning. Did you offer him a teeth cleaner?
I should have.
Heavy plaque.
You think so?
Oh, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So as you can see, Rick Ross wants to give zero, and I mean zero, credit to that guy inspiring him at all. He won the legal battle because of the timing. It'd be interesting to see that if the real Rick Ross got on top of this earlier, what could have happened? The court thrown it out because you have to act within a certain amount of time, apparently. But Rick Ross, giving him credibility, would take the shine and influence that he had on the rap scene himself away from him, and he'd be looking up to someone. And you may have to actually pay him out as well for using his likeness, because it was even in a way that he rapped about the exact things that guy was doing.
Yeah, man. So it is what it is, man. Ross won in court. So even though, you know, he was an officer and all that, he get to keep the name and don't got to get that man $1 and never got to acknowledge that man. It is what it is, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm out.